Gopala Astrology channel, where the science meets astrology for common man's understanding. Subscribe and stay tuned to this channel for continued astrological updates. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gopala Astrology channel once again. And today it's going to be a very interesting video, an important video of 2022. The topic is Jupiter transits to Pisces. Whenever the major planet like Jupiter or Saturn transits, we have to make a video and explain and understand what really is going on. And I think this is a much awaited transit because there's a lot of chaos that is happening right now. In the world, we already have seen a sudden attack of Ukraine by Russia. Of course, this was predicted in a way, but I really was surprised the way it really went on, And we knew that in the previous video, it was told that whenever the Mars enters the close vicinity of Saturn, it's going to explode. But it was not expected that it's going to explode this way. But anyway, we are all waiting for the peace. And then as we make this video, I foresee that the Jupiter's transit to Pisces is really going to bring a lot of peace into the world. Okay. Let's go to the actual video now. As it is mentioned, the Jupiter is going to transit as per our Indian system of astrology, sidereal system of astrology, on the 13th of April 2022. And then there is going to be a retrograde movement of Jupiter again on the 29th of July. It will go reverse direction until 24th of November 2022. And of course, this will happen inside the zodiac sign of Pisces, and the Jupiter doesn't come back to the previous sign of Aquarius anymore. Okay, so that's a good thing. Then we don't have serious retrograde movements of Jupiter this time. So all the way it is going to be there until April 2023. Okay, so let's try to understand the significance of this transit and how the peace is going to come between Russia and Ukraine and to the rest of the world. We are looking for speedy recovery of the economy. All right, we have already gone through many downturn trends in stock market, and when is that it's going to become a bull market? Let's try to see when Jupiter enters into Pisces. Okay, so let's more perspective on this. And again, I told you that the ego problems and whatever may be the reason that triggered the entry of Mars into the Jupiter, that's into the Capricorn, that's what made Putin explode in a way. Okay, so we'll expect this to become more peaceful on the 13th April 2022. Let's remember this date. Okay, so what exactly is happening, and why is it that I keep on repeating that the peace is going to be there from April onwards? Let's try to understand a little bit deeper aspect of what is known as constellations or nakshatras. Okay, so Jupiter is actually entering the first pada. See, every nakshatra has 4 padas or 4 portions. Okay, 3 degrees 10 minutes each in that arc. Okay, the Jupiter is going to enter the pada of Uttara Purva Bhadra. Okay, so Purva Bhadra, I'm sorry about it, Purva Bhadra Nakshatra. So when it enters the Purva Bhadra, 4th Padam, it will be in Pisces. Please understand that Purva Bhadra Nakshatra is going to be having the 3 portions or 3 Padams in Aquarius, and then the last part is Pisces. So what is the significance of Purva Bhadra Nakshatra? The nakshatra is itself representing the ego state. Okay, it is something like a guy like Vishwamitra, who was a king who became a Brahma Rishi in the later stage. Okay, there is a big story that goes, and he finally had to surrender to the Deva Rishi Vasistha. If you really go through the Indian mythological stories, you will understand the king becomes a Brahmarshi finally. So he was also called Rajarshi in between, as he was having a bit of ego and things like that. That means the first 3 padams of Purva Bhadra Nakshatra is going to give a lot of ego amongst the world leaders. Okay, as it enters the zodiac sign of Pisces, Pisces is a watery sign. It's a very spiritual sign where Jupiter becomes very calm. Okay, it enhances the possibility of spirituality in the world amongst almost all the peoples. So the peace is going to come back, and that last pada of Purva Bhadra Nakshatra is going to bring in the peace. All right, so that's how the aggression or ambition. See, Aquarius is the sign of ambition. So we will put in a lot of efforts to see that our desires are fulfilled during this period of time. But at the same time, once we gain that, then we get into vairagya and we are going to become peaceful, right? And that's what is going to happen to the whole world, especially the Putin and Ukraine. Okay, whatever is happening there, I don't want to get into the politics of this war, and I am only interested to see the peace and the progress of stock market as well. Okay, so let's understand how benevolent is this beautiful planet Jupiter. This one planet Jupiter in your horoscope is going to change your entire world, you know. So the best things in your life is going to happen, like studies, getting a degree, bachelor degree, master degree, getting married, getting a child, and so on, getting a grandchild, and so on and so forth, is all seen through Jupiter. So if this, that's why it's called Deva Guru, and he's the guru of all the gods in the mythological stories, right? So from our perspective, what is that Jupiter it is doing, right? Jupiter, in fact, if you see the astronomical part, it's the biggest planet in the solar system, and it even prevents a lot of comets and other asteroids hitting directly the Earth, right? So we know that from science point of view, but at the same time, astrologically, we give the maximum importance for the presence of Jupiter in our horoscope. Whichever place, house it occupies, that is very, very significant. All right, so I don't want to explain too much about this now, and I will talk a little bit about what is known as Gurubala or Gurubalam. What is this? Jupiter gives the best results whenever you consider it from the moon sign or Lagna or the ascendant sign, whenever it is placed in the second house, fifth house, seventh house, ninth house, and 11th house. That means out of 12, already he is doing the best in five, right? So almost. Almost all houses, it's going to give good results. I'm not saying that the other things are bad. I'm saying that these five are considered as the best positions for you in the Gochara Phalam. Right? That means the transit results, right? So the good things like marriage, the relationship development, the childbirth, the purchase of a property or a vehicle, all those things can then accumulation of wealth can be seen when Jupiter goes to these positions in your natal chart compared to your natal chart or natal moon and ascendant. Okay, so now in addition to this, the transit results, I have been emphasizing a lot about Ashtaka Varga. I told you guys before that Ashtaka Varga is of two types. One is known as Sarva Ashtaka Varga, which includes the points that all collection of all the points that is left by all the planets in your horoscope, and then the Binna Ashtaka Varga. There are two categories. If you talk about Sarva Ashtaka Varga, if you are, you can always go back to your horoscope chart and look for SAV, and these are the numbers written there. The maximum score that is possible is 56, right? If anything above 30, if you see, for example, here is 38, it is considered very, very good. So whenever any planet transit into that particular zodiac sign, it is going to give you the best results. Okay, and in the same time, if you are scoring between 25 and 30, results will be average, and then 18 to 25, it's not that good. In the same way, if you talk about the Binna Astaka Varga of Jupiter, let's take Jupiter because I'm talking about Jupiter's transit now. So if Jupiter is giving you 5 to 8 points in particular zodiac sign of Pisces, because we are talking about Pisces, and that's going to be the best results that Jupiter is going to give you in this transit. Okay, so you must consider the 2 5 7 10 2 5 7 11 also, and in addition to that, you must look into the Binna Staka Varga scoring of Jupiter. When everything is in your favor, this is going to be the best transit. Okay, in the same time, if you are about 4 exactly 4, let us say. It will be an average result. It's not good or bad, but anything less than 3, I think it's not going to be that good. Even if you have a Gurubalam and let us say you score 2, okay, the Jupiter is not going to promise all the things that he's promising is not going to happen. All right, so you may end up in seeing the results coming in your way, but you may not finally see that it is fulfilled, right? So that's the point. So we have to see the combination of many things, and at the same time your dashas and antaradashas. Okay, that is 75%. Okay, that's very individualistic for every people. All right, so with this, let's start our introduction to Aries and this transit of Jupiter in the 12th house. What is it going to become? What is it going to promise Arians or Aries moon sign and Aries Lagna? So it is getting into the 12th house of Vyayasthanam. But Jupiter is not a bad planet. It's a good planet going to the Vyayasthanam. That means spending house. So you will have to spend money for good things. That's the thing. And from 12th house, Jupiter is going to see your 4th house of assets, right? The 4th house of Sukhasthanam, you may think of buying a property or a vehicle. Okay, but you have to be very cautious. You have to always look into the position of Saturn. Is it favorable for this or not? And then you have to make decisions. And at the same time, Jupiter aspects your 6th house of loans. That's a very good thing. Whenever Jupiter sitting in its own house aspects the 6th house, it is going to help you to reduce your loans. If at all you have any loans, you may try to clear them. At least 50 to 60% of it gets cleared in this transit for sure. And at the same time, it also looks into the 8th house. So sitting in its own house, it gets power and it's seeing and aspecting your 8th house. So it may also try to improve your health situations. So overall, I have summarized in this way. So there are greens and yellows both. Okay, so there is going to be an outflow of money and foreign travels. That's very important to understand. 12th house represents long distance journeys, and even it can be a spiritual journey. Okay, so both of these can be fulfilled. Those people who are waiting for settling abroad, waiting for their visas and stuffs like that, they will see the success, especially the Aries ascendant people. Please understand, if at all you are traveling, you make sure that it happens after, if those travel dates are after April the 13th 2022. Okay, so I understand that you may have to take some loans, but you will spend it. The good thing about Jupiter in the 12th house is you will spend for good things. You may do certain yagyas, homams, the auspicious things in the family. That is being done whenever Jupiter enters the 12th house, and you will have to spend money for that. Okay, sometimes you may even have to go and spend money for the hospital bill. Somebody may be sick in the house and you will have to spend money for them to heal them. All right, so the best remedy for Aries ascendant people at this stage is listen to Vishnu Sahasranamam. Either chant it if you are able to chant it, or listen to the Vishnu Sahasranamam every day once. Okay, that's all about Aries. Let's go to the Taurus or Vrishabha Rashi. Okay, so for Vrishabha Rashi or Vrishabha Lagnam, this transit is happening in the 11th house of incoming gains. That means you have been struggling with the incoming gains, you have been pumping a lot of efforts when Jupiter was in the 10th house. Okay, and after this, the results, it's the time for getting the results from Jupiter. All right, so from here, Jupiter is going to aspect your 3rd house of courage. Again, you will have to work hard. The 3rd house is again courage and pumping up efforts. Okay, and communication. Jupiter is going to make your communication improve a lot. And then it sees your 5th house. This is a very good auspicious position. Once Jupiter aspects the 5th house, you may expect a childbirth, or you can even see the children's good education and things like that. And if at all you are planning to study on your own, you may gain some knowledge. You may be successful in getting some training certificates and things like that if you are already employed. Okay, it also aspects on your 7th house of spouse. It definitely improves the relationship with your spouse. Okay, so in a summary, I can say a lot of greens because 11th house Jupiter is complete Gurubalam. Okay, and it is sitting in its own favorite position of Pisces. All right, so here Jupiter is going to make sure that the gains are done and you will get the fruit of the results that you have been waiting for since last year. Okay, so everything is clear. Sometimes even this brings speculative businesses successful. As I told you, the stock market is going to get better after this April. So the people like Taurus is bull, right? So the bull market is going to be for the Taurians. So you can carefully plan and with a calculated risk, you can get into the stock markets and buy more shares, and probably you will get into a lot of profits. Okay, so if at all you are a married couple waiting for a baby, the conceiving and birth of the baby is quite possible. All right, so because Jupiter aspects your fifth house, so in overall I can say you may see good support from elder siblings because 11th house also represents your elder siblings. They are going to help you and make sure that financial matters during this period of time is going to be enhanced for Taurians. So good luck. A big thumbs up for Taurus Ascendant and Taurus Moon sign. All right, but you have to look into your own individual charts for dashas and antardashas. I keep repeating this every now and then. All right, let's move on to the Gemini or Mithuna Rashi. So Gemini Ascendant and Mithuna Rashi people, they are going to have this transit in their 10th house. Okay, Jupiter really doesn't do that well in 10th house. Okay, the Digbalam is lost, and 10th house is going to make you work hard in your karma sthanam. That means you are going to look for changing jobs, and at the second phase of this transit, Jupiter is going to get you a very good job, and you are going to gain promotions and also get good name from your bosses, right? See, Jupiter represents the seniors, and it is there in the karmasthanam. They will make you to work hard. It's not going to be easy to get those promotions, or if at all you are trying for a job change, it's not going to be easy. But the second half of this transit is going to guarantee you a very good job. All right, so let's summarize this. Jupiter aspects your second house of family, second house of accumulated wealth, so you will have some savings done. Jupiter aspects your fourth house of assets, mobile assets as well as immobile assets. People may plan for buying some properties, but you have to be very cautious and buy. Okay, and sixth house, it aspects, it clears most of the loans. Okay, but it is not having that guru balam yet for Gemini people, so you have to watch out, and then you have to go for the further steps whenever you want to buy anything. But the aspect of this is considered extremely good because you are going to win your competition, because sixth house is you are going to defeat your enemies and make sure that you will clear your debts which you had kept it for a long period of time. Okay, even you may go for pilgrimage. Why the pilgrimage? Because it's a gain of ninth house. 10th house becomes the addition of the second house from the ninth house of pilgrimages. You may think of doing it now because of coronavirus. A lot of travels has been banned, but now after this April, things are going to get much easier. Okay, overall I can say you will gain from this transit. There is absolutely no doubt about it. People who have been really waiting for a job will see that the job will come to you in the second half of sorry, the transit. So please do not forget to do the remedy, the japam, the Guru Bija Mantram has to be pronounced at least 108 times every single day when if at all you are really looking for a change in the job, or you don't have a job and you want to get a job. Okay, it helps. Now let's go to the Cancer ascendant people or Karkataka Rashi. Right, so what is going on for Karkataka Rashi? The transit is excellent because I told you Guru, when it or Jupiter, when it is there in the ninth house, it gives Guru Balam. right? Right now, this is in the ninth house, and ninth house aspect, ninth house transit of Jupiter is extremely good for Cancer ascendant people. It looks directly into their Lagnam. Any health problems that you might have been facing, it will go off, because eighth house Jupiter was giving you some health issues, and now Jupiter is going to give you the remedy. Okay, so you are able to mitigate your health risks, health problems, and you will be perfectly healthy for this transit period. Okay, and it also gives you a lot of courage. Third house, it aspects your third house, and siblings, especially the younger siblings, are going to give you a lot of support. All right, and fifth house, children. Happiness from children is definitely guaranteed to Cancer ascendant people. So overall, I can say the long distance journeys is success, because ninth house represents long distance journeys. Visas will be approved if at all you are trying for overseas applications for the visas, and definitely you will have the good communication skills as well, because third house represents communication in addition to the courage, right? So that is going to improve. The birth of child is definitely possible, no doubt about it, because it aspects the fifth house, and overall happiness from the children, I can say that. And please take one particular note here that I have highlighted in yellow color. Please understand my style of presentation. Whatever you see, the green ones are the best good ones in the transit results, in the yellow ones are to be viewed with caution, right? So you may have some bad experience with the father, because I told you guys that Jupiter is like a candle. Wherever he is placed, he is going to burn that place and give the light to the fifth house, ninth house, and seventh house. Remember this always. Jupiter represents that it is a candle, right? It gives light everywhere, but it's going to slightly burn that place where it is staying. All right, so ninth house represents father, and Jupiter happens to go to your ninth house, and there may be some heated arguments with the father, and that will cause some kind of problems in the family. Of course, just make sure, if you continue the arguments and with the seniors and fatherly kind of people, you may lose some money in this transit. All right, so the best remedy is always calm down yourself. Even though your things are going well, you should not show your ego to everybody, and then make some charitable donations, especially give some donation to young children. Okay, and they have here as yellow cloth to the needy. It doesn't matter it's yellow cloth or anything like that, but as long as you donate the food and clothes to the needy, the benefit is always seen, because ninth house guru is extremely powerful position. Okay, this is going to be a wonderful transit for Cancer ascendant people. Now let's get into Leo ascendant transit. Okay, so for Jupiter entering into the eighth house for Leo, it is not that good, because they were enjoying seventh house transit of Jupiter all the while. Those people who were single, they got married, and I'm very sure the people with business were doing very, very good last year. I mean, in the previous transit, right? But now Jupiter enters your eighth house. So eighth house can be sudden gains. In that way, I can say things like eighth house is like insurance policies. For example, you might have got some insurance policy which you forgot. You invested and you forgot about it. Maybe you will get some gain from that. The policy matures, and there is a survival benefit. The insurance guys will call you and say, okay, this is your the survival benefit, and you may gain something like that. Okay, so sitting in the eighth house, Jupiter is going to see your 12th house of various Dhanam. And again, 12th house is a movable sign here, Cancer, and hence you may also get into the approval of visas and stuffs like that. Okay, the aspect of Jupiter will be on your second house. There will be savings. Okay, and then the fourth house again, purchase of vehicles and properties. You have to be very cautious. Look into the other transit or results of Saturn, and together you assess whether it is the right thing to do or not to purchase a property. Okay, so that's the thing I told you, the insurance and inheritance. Sometimes a senior person in the family may pass away, but he might have written a will in your name, and you may get that inheritance. That's also possible. Okay, so eighth house is all about sudden gain of money which you didn't really expect. Okay, so that's the thing. Now, overall routine will be effective, and soon three mothers will be having to take special care for their babies. The reason is this. Let's go back to this. Okay, now the Leo ascendants look into the fifth house. Okay, now what is happening? Fifth house is children, right? The fourth house is the 12th. We call it as Bhava Bhavam effect. So when this is understood, there is a loss or a lot of effort that has to be put to keep the children happy, right? So why this is happening? Because Jupiter sitting in the eighth house aspects your fourth house, okay, which is actually the loss of fifth house. That means there could be some children who are sick during this period of time, and the Leo mothers have to take care of them with more extra efforts. That is what is the conclusion that you should take. Okay, so that's the thing. See, the Leo ascendant people, for them, Jupiter rules two houses, the fifth house and then the eighth house itself. So now the eighth lord going into the eighth house, right? So this is according to the traditional Indian astrology, right? The Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, and so eighth lord in the eighth house aspects your fourth house, and that's the reason that we want special care for the children or the baby, right? That's the thing. So there you may face some difficulties and hurdles in taking care of children, especially you don't just think of young babies. Even it can be the school children or even the college students. If you're taking care of them, you will have to put extra precaution. Okay, that's the thing. And then Jupiter aspect the 12th house, it's going to bring more expenses for you. Okay, and the expenses that you will do will be for good purpose. Okay, again, you may do certain spiritual prayers in the house. For that, you will have to spend money and stuffs like that. Okay, and foreign contacts is going to come to you, and then foreign trades are going to improve because Jupiter becomes strong in the eighth house because it's its own house, and it's going to bring unusual unknown people from unknown lands, and they are going to give you some kind of business, and the trade is going to you never expected this before, but because of this transit you may find that it is improving. Okay, the family life will be average because there is no good aspect of Jupiter on the seventh house. Okay, and there won't be any children to be born this year. Okay, and that's it. So as I told you, you will have to wait for the favorable period of Saturn also coming to you. Then you can think of buying a property. Until then, you have to wait and watch out. Right. The best remedy on Thursdays to youngsters basin sweets and things like it's just a simple remedy given, but actually the best is the donation of food to the needy children is the best. Okay. Now let's go to the next ascendant sign, Virgo or Kanya Rashi, moon sign Kanya Rashi. So for them, it's a bingo. It's a big thumbs up for Kanya Rashi people. The reason is because they will have Purna Guru Balam. That means they will have the seventh house aspect of Jupiter, and this is really going to be a very very interesting transit for Virgo people. Okay, so the seventh house aspect will come to them, and they will improve their health conditions. It's very important. Already we had told you that the Rahu's transit is not that good for Virgo, but Jupiter is coming as a doctor, and you will get a very good doctor for your ailments, and your ailment will be cleared in the second by the second half of this transit. Okay, so that's what we are going to see. And Jupiter straight away aspects your incoming gains, and money is going to have a free flow. You are going to have a very good financial situation in this transit for the next 1 year. That's guaranteed. Okay, that it also aspects on your communication house, the younger siblings house. So the relationship with the younger siblings is going to be excellent. You are going to communicate well, you will establish new contacts, and the business is going to do very, very well. So I see a good thumbs up for Virgo ascendant people. Okay, and even the partner, the relationship with the wife or the husband, the spouse, is going to be excellent. Whatever misunderstandings that Rahu Ketu has been creating for you guys, you will see that Jupiter is going to mitigate them, and it will bring back closeness with your spouse. Okay, so only thing is that you are advised to take care of your eating habits because of excitement and good things and a lot of special functions and auspicious occasions you may be visiting. You may eat a lot of sweet and stuffs like that. You may end up in becoming more bulkier. You may put on more weight. So watch out for that and have a limit on your food intake. I'm very sure that this transit will be one of the best transit for Kanya Rashi people. All right. So try to get this Rudrabhishekam done in whatever temple is nearby to you. It doesn't matter wherever you are in this world. You may find one or two temples nearby and try to get back there and tell your priest to do the Rudra Abhishekam. So this will be a very, very blissful transit for Virgo ascendant people. All right. Let's go on to the next one, that is Thula Rashi or Libra ascendant people. Okay, so for them, this transit is going to be in the sixth house, right? So they had a Gurubalam all these days, and after the 13th of April 2022, they are going to lose the Gurubalam. Jupiter gets into the sixth house of day to day job and competitive house. All right. So is Jupiter a good planet for Libra? So first of all, you should always look into that particular aspect. Libra ascendant will have the Jupiter as the owner for the third house and sixth house. So it is definitely not a very auspicious planet for Libra ascendant people. Saturn is the Yoga Karka because he is the lord of fourth and fifth houses, whereas Jupiter happens to be not a very benefic planet for Libra ascendants. Now, the same planet is going into the sixth house, sixth lord in the sixth house. It should protect that house, actually speaking. It should protect its own house, and so we have to see the aspects more than its placement. So, from the sixth house, it aspects the career, 10th house. Change of job is indicated, but it takes time. It will happen in the second half of this transit. And sitting in the sixth house, Jupiter aspects your 12th house of expenses. Look, always Jupiter keeps changing for each zodiac sign, right? So for Virgo, it is the seventh lord in the seventh house. I told you that the spouse will the relationship with the spouse will be extremely good. Whereas for the same thing, the Libra ascendant people, the Jupiter is the lord of sixth house. So sixth house is entirely different from seventh house, and that's how we have to study individually. Only then we can make a good conclusion. Okay, so Jupiter aspects your second house of savings. Definitely the savings can be there, but the aspect of sixth lord on the 12th house is going to also give you a chance to get out of the homeland, and you may get into a foreign land as well. And the initial stage of that visit of the foreign land will not be good because Jupiter plays its role. It's the sixth lord for you, and in the foreign land you may get into some trouble, but as the time progresses you will get betterment. Okay, overall I can say that you should take care of your health. Okay, and if you are a student likely to write your competitive exam, you may not fare that well in that examination. Okay, so you will have to pump in a lot of efforts to get through that because your competitors are going to be sharper than you. Sixth lord in the sixth house, so your competitors will be smarter than you guys. Okay, you are advised to take care of the health again, and uh, the liver represents Jupiter in the body, right? So the bigger organ, the liver, has to be properly taken care. If you are alcoholic, please avoid alcohol, and there will be some kind of chronic illness. To be very careful. Okay, and I told you that it aspects. Let's go back to the aspect again. It's going to aspect your 10th house, and that's why after the second half of this transit, definitely your bosses will realize that you have been doing an excellent job, and you will get that appreciation. Okay, so overall, I can say this transit is 50-50, and it depends on your dashas and antardashas. Okay, so take care during this period, and you wait for the next Aries transit, which will be the seventh house transit. That Jupiter is going to help you a lot. All right, so please keep worshipping Goddess Lakshmi and observe fast on Fridays. Do the fasting on Fridays, because Libra Ascendant is ruled by Venus, and Venus is nothing but Lakshmi. Okay, and try to be fasting on those Fridays. That will help you to clear the loans and improve your finances. All right, so that's all about Libra Ascendant people. Now let's go on to Scorpio or Vrishchika Lagnam. Okay, so what is happening for Vrishchika Lagnam people? Transit goes to the fifth house. Jupiter transit is in the fifth house, and this is a big thumbs up for you guys. Okay, so you get the Sampurna Gurubalam. People who have not got married are going to get married. People who are waiting for their children, childbirth, it is very much possible. And if already you have children, they will progress very well, and a lot of good things are expected. Even the stock market, you can do the speculative business very well, because fifth house is all about speculations. Okay, so that's going to happen in a good way, and I see only green things for you guys for this transit. Okay, so the love and romance is going to click. Students are going to, who are struggling last year, that means in the previous transit, they are going to do very well. The natives in the field of film and media will gain, because fifth house is all about acting and media, right? You're going to communicate very well with the media and gain a lot of name and fame. Okay, so all the good things are there. This is the one of the happiest transit for Vrishchika Rashi. All right, or Vrishchika Lagnam. So you will go for recreation. You will start, suddenly you will think that I should go for example, I should go and learn exercise, aerobics. So you may go and spend time with your friends, and then you will start doing aerobics. And if at all you have any hobby, or you want to pursue that hobby, you will do that. Okay, so this is because fifth house is all about enthusiasm, doing something out of passion. That's what is seen here. Do not worry about your examinations. If at all you are a student, you are writing an important exam, you will see that you will come out with flying colors, and of course, wealth is always there. I don't see any problem at all for next 1 year for Scorpio ascendant or Scorpio moon sign people. Okay, a big thumbs up to you guys. The best thing is to enhance more, is wear yellow sapphire stone, like something like this what I'm wearing here, to your right hand index finger, or you can even make a pendant around the neck with the yellow sapphire. All right, let's move on to the next zodiac sign of Sagittarius or Dhanus Lagnam. All right, so for Dhanus or Sagittarius, it is happening in the fourth house. Transit happens in the fourth house of Sukhasthanam. All right, so the fourth lord goes to the fourth house, and that's not that bad at all. It's really good, but still the Jupiter's Guru Balam is not yet there for them. It's going to happen when it transits to the fifth house of Aries. Okay, let's just try to understand what other benefits you can see. See, again, sitting in the fourth house, Jupiter aspects your eighth house. Eighth house is longevity. If at all you are a very old sick person, you are waiting for your treatment, you may get a good doctor, and you may temporarily get rid of your problems, and you may expect, you can see your life expectancy goes much higher, right? So eighth house is aspected by a Shubha Graha. That's the point. Next one is enhancement in job. That is for sure. It is aspecting your 10th house. Jupiter is still powerful in its own house, sitting in this fourth house, aspects the karmasthana, and you are likely to do very well. In fact, you will be given more jobs, more responsibilities, and in fact, you may get stressful because of overwork. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing here. But definitely, you will be excelling in your jobs. And sitting in the fourth house, Jupiter also aspects your 12th house of Vyayam, right? And these Vyayam or the expenses is going to come for good things. Okay, you are going to spend money for your doing a homam or yagyam or any auspicious thing in the house which benefits the whole family. All right, you may invite a guru for the house and you may honor them. You may spend a lot of money. You may give food to the to the orphanage and things like that. So overall, I can say that Jupiter transit for Sagittarian is 50-50. Take very good care of your mother's health and wait for your fifth house transit into Aries next year, April. Okay, so that's all about it. And you may get some wealth from the spouse side. This is another point I want to add here. Why? Because Jupiter aspects your eighth house. Eighth house is the gain of marriage, right? I'm talking about this one. Seventh house is all about your spouse. Is a gain from the spouse. That is quite possible during this transit for Sagittarius ascendant or Sagittarius moon sign people. Okay, so where the best remedy is wear good quality yellow sapphire again or crotch into your right hand index finger because that's your birthstone as well. So you should, if at all you are not wearing one, please make one and get it worn. Okay, get a original gemstone. That's the point. Let's go to the Capricorn moon sign or Makara Rashi. Okay, now or Capricorn ascendant. It is happening for them in the third house. All these days they had Gurubalam, Jupiter was in their second house, and now it has jumped into the third house after the April 13th. That is going to give you not a very comfortable time. You have to pump in a lot of efforts. You have to communicate very well. Okay, third house is a Trik Bhavam, definitely, and then it aspects your seventh house sitting in this. So your spouse is going to support you. Okay, even though you lost the Guru Balam, it aspects the seventh house of spouse. So the spouse is going to give you definitely better results. See what is happening in the whole world. That's what I was trying to make the previous video. Panchagraha yoga that is happened, that is happening right now as we speak in Capricorn will be aspected in a good way because Jupiter throws its aspects on the Cancer zodiac sign, and Cancer zodiac sign is exactly 180-degree opposite to the Capricorn, where the war is going on right now. So there is going to be a piece here with the drishti of Jupiter, and the same thing for Makara Lagna people. Also, the spouse is going to come and mitigate the risk, and they are going to make you happy. All right. So Jupiter also sitting in the third house, throw the aspects on ninth house, and your belief system, higher consciousness, is going to get into. I mean, your linking towards the higher consciousness goes up, and you will start becoming more and more spiritual, and you will visit pilgrimages as well. And sitting in the third house, he aspects the 11th house of incoming gains, which is good. Okay, so that's the thing. 11th income will be definitely satisfactory for you guys, but due to arrogance and things like that, you may lose some of your good friends. Please note that. Okay, so try to be very polite whenever you speak and do not be too egoistic about your accomplishments and things like that. All right. So overall, there will be benefit from this transit in a way. It improves the short distance traveling. Third house represents short distance traveling as well because third lord goes to the third house. You may not travel overseas from your country's jurisdiction, but within the country you may travel a lot, and that's going to give you benefit as well. All right, so that's about it. And then the classical remedy given to you is go to the people tree and offer water to that daily. Okay, so these are all the classical astrological remedies that is given if at all you are in a country like United States or Europe where you may not find a people tree or a banyan tree. You don't have to worry about it. You can do some other alternative, and what is applicable to your geography. All right, this is just a remedy given, and it will help if you really follow this. And let's go to the next one, Aquarius or Kumba Rashi or Kumba Lagnam. The people born with this ascendant, big thumbs up to you guys again. Why? Because Jupiter goes to the second house, and which is known as Gurubala. So the people who have got waiting for the marriage, who are waiting for the marriage, they will get married, waiting for the childbirth, waiting for the promotions, right? Waiting for saving money. All that is seen in the second house transit for Aquarius people. Okay, so anyway, you have been going through the Sade Sati, the 7.5 years period of Saturn is really uh, troubling you. But I had mentioned in the previous Rahu Ketu transit video that Rahu enters your third house of courage. So you will have a lot of courage to mitigate the risks that are given by Saturn. And now on the top of it, it's like a cherry on the cake that Jupiter enters your second house, and your finances are going to improve, and you will be having a overall better family life. Okay, sitting in the second house, Jupiter is going to aspect your sixth house of loans and litigations. You are going to win any court cases if you had before, and you are also going to clear off your loans. Okay, second lord has gone to the second house, and he is aspecting the eighth house. Again, insurance money may come to you. Okay, sudden gains if some older person in the family dies, and he may write the will for you guys. In the same time, Jupiter aspects your house of work, so you are going to get promotions in your job. So overall, if you read this, take a screenshot of this, guys. Keep this screenshot for 1 year and keep monitoring what is written here. So you're going to increase your wealth, and you're going to have very good family happiness. This is extremely good. Okay, and any loans that you might have taken in the last previous transit of Jupiter, you will clear it this time. And eating habits, again. So whenever you attend good functions and auspicious occasions, you are going to be fed with a lot of good food, sweets, and stuffs like that. Try to minimize eating a lot of sweets. You may get into diabetes and things like that. You may become bulkier, and you may gain overweight. You may become overweight. So avoid those things and be cautious now itself. Okay, so if you are a businessman, definitely your business is going to be very profitable. You will gain money, and you will be able to save those profits also in a better way and reinvest it in new businesses and things like that. Okay, the ego will come to you in the second half of this transit. Please, I'm warning you guys now itself. Please do not get stuck with those ego problems, especially with the family people. Talk to them gently. Money is not everything, finance is not everything, family life and happiness is the key. So having a good relation with everyone will make you happy. Overall, I see it's a big thumbs up for Aquarius ascendant or Aquarius moon sign people. Enjoy your Jupiter transit for 1 more year. All right, so the last one. Now we have come to the last zodiac sign, Pisces. So beautiful. The Lord of Pisces has entered Pisces. So what's the benefit these Pisceans are going to get? Let us see. Okay, sitting in the first house, Jupiter will be very happy. He has gone to his, now he can relax. Jupiter relaxes in his Piscean atmosphere. Okay, it's a watery sign. Jupiter always does well in watery signs. Please understand that. Jupiter is going to do well in Pisces, in Cancer, which is another exaltation point, and also in Scorpio. So Jupiter likes Scorpio as well. Now, so sitting in the first house aspects the fifth house. If you are a student, you will get better education. You will start focusing more. All right. And then I told you the candle effect. Do not forget that Jupiter burns the bottom of that portion, right, wherever it is sitting, and throws the light on 5, 7, and 9. Okay, so there will be some health issues and some headaches in the first house. Okay, but the relationship with the spouse is going to be very, very good because it aspects directly 180-degree opposite to the seventh house of spouse. Okay, and ninth house of luck also is an end. That is why we say if Jupiter in the natal chart, in the original horoscope chart, if it is there in the first house, that person will be very, 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 very happy. Okay, because most of the things are taken care from that fifth house, seventh house, and ninth house of luck, seventh house of relationship and partnership, and fifth house of all good things coming into your life. So when these three areas are aspected by Jupiter, there is nothing much to worry in life. Okay, so what I suggest you guys is that okay, so if you get a lot of ideas, for example, okay, so if you want to implement them with a lot of finances involved, you have to be careful because Jupiter is only a planner, but the actual implementer is Saturn. If your Saturn is not doing that well, and if you just try to approach and then make a project happen, I'm giving an example of a project. It can be anything. If at all you want to buy a house, okay, or renovate your house, and if there is no Shani Balam support from Saturn, you may end up in problems. Okay, it is going to don't keep your plan secret. Share with your people, and get the support from everyone, and then implement it. Not try to make any surprise purchases and things like that. Okay, but overall benefit is definitely there. There is a profit from the day-to-day trading. Seventh house aspect of Jupiter gives you that benefit. Okay, the routine life will be very good and normal, and you diverting your mind towards the God will help you in these cases. Whenever the Jupiter sits in your Lagnam represents head, so going towards meditation and to the higher consciousness is going to be very, very good. Overall presence of Jupiter in the first house makes you very optimistic, and this transit is considered still good. But make sure, as a remedy, if you are a meat eater and alcohol consumer, try to make it not possible. I mean, alcohol should not be consumed, and if you are a meat eater, make it very minimum. Okay, so that's how it is, and Jupiter is going to bless you for the next 1 year for sure, without any doubts. Okay, always look. Do not forget to look into your dashas and antardashas, and this is only 25%. The Gochar Palam is only 25%. And that's all I want to say about Pisces. Okay, we have come to the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, please type it in the comment section. I'll be very glad to explain in detail for your questions, as long as it is interesting and it is of common interest for everybody. Okay, please subscribe to this channel if you are visiting for the first time. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.